fucking funny?
Does that sound fine?
What's the boogeyman?
Welcome back to the Moonjuice Metal and Horror Podcast, the podcast where we live and breathe heavy metal and horror, but are afraid to shit on both of them. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
And yeah, this is like our first Christmas episode.
Which we would have had one before this, but we did something else instead. But we'll try to make up for it by picking really good Christmas movies, Christmas horror movies.
Mm. Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool because, nowadays, you have like a lot of Christmas horror movies. What you did not used to have in the past. I think it's actually kind of cool,
Well, it depends. Like we did have a bunch of Christmas horror movies, but they weren't really. It only came out like after the 80s that they were Christmas horror movies, right? I think one of the ones that we're going to do during Christmas is kind of one of those. It's a horror movie, but later it was accepted as a Christmas film because it takes place during Christmas, right?
Yes, yeah, but the thing is, I always saw that one as a Christmas movie.
Kids in the 80s did, yeah. Kids in the 80s did. This one is a more recent film, the one that we're doing here, but
no.
I think it's smart, though, to get this one out of the way because this is a great film, but at the same time, there are other ones that happened like in the 80s that we're going to do that are more kind of like appropriate as Christmas films because of just how fucking crazy they are. And some of them, the fact that they even got released is nuts. Like, especially my favorite one that we're going to do is one that I'm really happy got released, but I'm still curious who greenlit it. Might as well say the name of the film, Gremlins. That's not the one we're doing today, but that's the one we're going to do. That's the one we're going to do.
Gremlins is going to be the last episode of this year. Like that, the last episode of our first year of this podcast is going to be Gremlins. Yeah. But I didn't spoil it this time.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to do that one. I think mostly because that was one of those ones that you probably, when you saw it, you were really young, right? If you're an 80s kid.
Yes.
I was really young when I saw that movie. And I wouldn't say it scared the shit out of me, but it's definitely a horror film. And it was also a Christmas film, and all the 80s kids, like you said, associate that film with Christmas because of that.
I would say it's kind of like a mix of different things. It's a Christmas movie, horror movie, and a comedy. It is a comedy to a certain degree
it's a comedy.
as well.
True, yeah.
Just like the movie we're doing today. But the movie we're doing today, there's only one specific scene that I laughed my ass off. We're gonna get to it. You probably know the same one. I think it's the scene everybody laughs their ass off at because it's totally fucking ridiculous.
There's a few of them, dude. There's a few scenes in here where I was just like, no way, ridiculous shit. That's funny as hell. Plus, and it's not just the terrible things that happen. Like I laugh at terrible things, and so do you. But there's a lot of really funny stuff in this too, character-wise. That's great. And I'm really thankful that they did this way because the topic of the film and just in general what the film is about, you could have gone completely dark with it, right?
Yes, you could have, yeah.
You could have gone completely dark with it. And I'm not saying that would have been bad. I mean, it's been done after this film where they've done it completely dark.
Yes, but how should I say it? This is like, I'm not saying there are tons of movies that done this after this one and maybe even shortly before, but this is like the only so far. I mean, the main antagonist of this movie is also in other Christmas horror movies, one we're going to do as well. Great movie, by the way. But this movie is like the only one that I actually liked, that I thought was good, because all other movies that came after this one that had the same thing were just, I don't know, I just thought they were bad. But I only saw like two or so. Huh?
Yeah, I agree. I've seen one or two other ones that had this character, and I'm not even sure I made it through the films. Like, I was just that bored by them. Yeah. It's one of those things, it's tough to, like, have this conversation without giving the movie away. It's one of those things that, like, if you're an American, you're not real familiar with what this is, right? And so, and I think actually a lot of Germans are not super familiar with what this is. I think a lot of
No.
Germans have heard about it and they know about it, but it's not really something that's followed quite like Santa Claus is. You know what I mean?
No, not at all. I mean, it's mainly in Germany. I mean, the character is from a Christmas folklore that is originated in Germany and Austria.
Right.
But this figure has not really been mentioned much in Germany. So it is something that a lot of historians probably know and people that are experts of old fairy tales. But it's also, there are certain areas in Germany and Austria.
Yeah. Mostly
Where this
Austria, I
character-
think, though, right? Mostly Austria.
I think mainly Austria, no, because they have entire parades with this
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was in Austria or in Germany, but it's not. The character is well known, but it's not like every German knows about him. I mean, to be honest, I know a lot of Germans that heard the name and know it's some old fairy tale, some old folklore, but they don't really know exactly what it is.
Right. Right. Well, with that, we should probably say the name of the movie because everybody's probably guessed it by now, right?
Yeah,
So, what movie are we doing, Mike?
we're doing Krampus from 2015.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I've seen 2 Krampus movies, and I know there are countless other people that have tried to make a horror movie out of Krampus. But so far, from the 3 I've seen, and I've looked into others, I mean, promo material, pictures, whatever. I'm just trying to get a picture of what kind of movies they are. This is the only good one, the only one I actually liked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was, the thing is, I was always a guy, I look into old folklore and all of that. I knew of the character of Krampus, you know, the evil counterpart to Santa Claus. To some stories, he's Santa Claus's brother, nun, or whatever. But that's not always the case. But he's always a counter character to Santa Claus. You know, Santa Claus, and he gives presents to all of the good kids, while Krampus comes and punishes all of the kids that were naughty,
Right.
more or less.
Yeah. It's actually kind of a shame that this character kind of only made it into pop culture within the last, 15, 20 years. Because this is not something I had ever heard of before until recently. And it's like something scared the idea back up and brought it into pop culture to where it was a big deal again, or actually a big deal for the first time. And then for that entire year when this movie came out, all you were ever hearing about was Krampus this, Krampus that, Krampus. So he kind of became a popular icon again out of nowhere, because you have to remember, I came to Germany as an exchange student in 1998, right? And so at that time, I was with a German family that lived in East Germany. No one ever mentioned Krampus. Nobody ever talked about Krampus. I've never heard of it. And then the subsequent years after that, on and off for 20 years in Germany, not having heard anything about Krampus. And then all of a sudden, he pops up and he's in pop culture again. And I just don't know how that happened because there seems to be like quite a bit of history behind this character in terms of what people know about him. But when you talk to people your age, I know you're from an American family, so for you, it probably doesn't really matter that much. But for the Germans, it's like the people in my generation don't know anything about it. But the older generation, their parents and grandparents, holy shit, they can tell you a lot of stories about Krampus. So this is something that originally had a hold on culture, at least like mythology and tradition and all that stuff, and then kind of went away for a while and then just now resurfaced. Do you remember anybody you grew up with talking about Krampus?
Yes. Occasionally, older people are like a friend of mine. Basically, his grandpa was an asshole, more or less. And a guy I knew, and his grandpa was pretty abusive as well.
Okay.
And I remember that being at his house around Christmas or whatever. And I remember his grandpa telling us, I guarantee you Krampus is going to come over and he's going to fucking cut your hands off and put you in a bag this Christmas. He said that to his kids because we were brats or whatever. Yes.
That's harsh, dude. That's fucking harsh. What a thing to tell a kid. Holy
I
shit.
didn't really care about that because at that time, it was like I wasn't even aware what Krampus was.
Yeah.
I went home and I asked my dad, like, what is Krampus? And then he told me that he says, where did you hear that from? And then I told my dad, and I was laughing. I thought it was hilarious because I thought the guy was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But my parents called him and had a talk with him because my
Holy
dad
shit.
got pretty pissed. My dad got pretty pissed at him, but it was more just how should I say? But also, it's just like it's a character a few people knew from their grandparents.
Yeah.
It's just like because in the older generations, like my dad's generation, he heard as well from his grandma telling him, you better be a good boy because if you're not a good boy, Krampus is going to come and visit you, not Santa Claus, and he's going to stick you in his bag, and he's going to wait around for a few minutes.
That's fucking terrifying for a kid, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what Krampus was used as. You better be a good boy because if you're naughty, Krampus is going to come and visit you. And then there also were grandparents. There are also grandparents from friends of my dad. They didn't tell them anything. No, their grandparents just told them, if you're naughty, Krampus is going to come and visit you. And then the kid asked them who was Krampus. They gave him a book. And here, read.
Well, that's damaging. That's damaging already. I mean, judging by some of the literature that not you guys, but the Germans have for kids over the centuries, like the lessons for children. What's the name of the book? Stolvapita, isn't it? Isn't it something like that?
Stolpelpeter. Yeah.
So
Stolpelpeter.
every child in that book. So every story has like a different moral to it. Like do this or X will happen, right? Almost every child in that book dies horribly or gets their fingers cut off, right? This is what the Germans do to their kids, or this is what the Germans did to their kids back in the day.
Well, we're talking about a very, very long time back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember it. I don't remember any of my friends in my age having these kind of things, except for the one guy I knew in school, and his grandpa was a complete fucking dick. But it's usually older generations like my dad and the generation that was before them. Because even among my dad's generation when he was growing up in Germany, is like it was not really that big of a thing. Krampus, they were just told, here, be naughty or Krampus will come. No?
Okay.
And he'll punish you. No?
Okay.
That's pretty much how it was with my dad's generation. But before that, it was pretty extreme. Yeah. Because back in medieval times, Krampus was used to scare kids into being little children. Because back in, I'm not sure what time, but there was a time where really kids were told Krampus is going to come and he's going to drag you to the underworld if you're a naughty kid.
Yep. And there's pictures from, I guess it would have been like probably the 30s, judging by some of the photographs I've seen, but they show Christmas markets. It could have also been Austria. I don't know, but they'll show pictures from like Christmas markets back in the 20s and 30s. And they've got the actual figure of Krampus running around the crowd messing with children, right? So this is something that they actively did too, right? Yeah. Yeah. Still, they did it, and that's fucked up.
Well, but you still have that similar Christmas markets today.
Yeah, yeah, I know, but I thought that maybe it was kind of a resurgence because of the fact that he became a pop icon again. Because I don't remember seeing the character.
How should I say?
Pop
This
up
is
at
crazy.
Christmas
I've seen him at a few.
20 years ago.
I've seen him at a few. Is like one or two people, one guy running around as Krampus. I think it was in Nuremberg. But also, he was not really scaring people. He was walking around, joking a little bit with kids. It was all a joke. The kids weren't terrified at all because it was a Christmas figure, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was more just, kind of it was, even if you might see it at German Christmas markets, even though it's not really that often.
Yeah.
More, I think it's more an Austria thing, but even there, when you have somebody walking around as Krampus, it's more just a joke and fun thing, just like the Krampus parade in Austria.
Yeah,
right. They're not running around scaring everybody. It's more just a fun thing. Yeah.
This character in this film, though, this guy is fucking terrifying. I will say that he's fucking terrifying. From the first time you see him on film until the end where you're getting to see like the full figure himself, he's terrifying. And I'm not really sure what's going on with the costume. I have to give like a big props to the costume department and the filming, how they did this, because he doesn't look like the way I've seen him before or the way that he's described or shown in books. He looks completely different. He's basically dressed like Santa Claus for the most part, except with like a hood, and he's got these gigantic fucking goat horns that come out of the top of his head. And then I can't figure this out because I didn't look it up because I forgot, but it looks like he's wearing some type of mask the whole time over his real face.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's
what
one thing that bothers me about the movie is Krampus' mask.
Okay.
Because you can clearly see his mouth doesn't move at all. That's the one thing I can say about this movie that I did not really like. I think they should have at least maybe done a little bit more on that point because I just think it's a little bit dumb because the entire movie is pretty well made. It is both practical effects and
excellent.
CGI. I mean, there are scenes where they're on a scene where you see Krampus jumping from rooftop to rooftop. Yeah. That's clearly CGI. There's no way you're going to do that with practical effects. It's not possible.
Yeah.
But still, even though it's just absolutely so far great, the CGI is great in the movie. The practical effects are also very good in this movie. It's just the one thing, Krampus's mask.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another thing that I find pretty annoying because I saw the movie originally in German, Krampus, and it came out a few other times. I think I watched it around Christmas, but both times I watched it was with my previous girlfriend and the one before that. And at those times, they wanted to watch them in German.
Okay.
So this is actually the first time I've seen the movie in English. And I noticed something that I just thought was super fucking annoying to me. But I'm going to bring it up when we get to that part of the movie. Exactly. So, but I was just saying, before we get into the movie, if you like our podcast, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, give this video a link and a comment, and hit the bell button so you will always get notifications when we upload a new video. And if possible, share it on any social media platform you are. We would really appreciate that.
Yeah, and send comments because we had someone write in after our Poltergeist episode I cannot remember his name right now, but we had talked about a few things in the episode and he was like, hey, that's a good point. There's also this you might not have known or this you might not have known about the movie. Super informative stuff. Was obviously a big fan of the film. If you are a fan of one of the films that we're doing and you want to tell us that we missed something, tell us, please, because I mean, I have no problem with criticism. Tell me that I missed something. And then educate me on some shit that I might not know about the film too, because that's cool. We love that kind of shit. Please write in.
That's right. I mean, if there's anything about the movie we forget or anything you want to let us know, just like Matt said, write the comments. And if there are any movies you would like us to do, also write in the comments. There's one movie we haven't done yet that one of our followers written in the comments. No? We're going to do it next year, pretty much early on.
Which one?
Remember which one? Mouth of Madness.
What?
Mouth of Madness.
Oh, Mouth of Madness. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. I remember that guy requested. We haven't done it yet.
We haven't.
We'll get around to it.
We'll get around to it. Too. Yeah, it is. It is a great movie. Fabulous movie. We'll get around to it. Definitely. We're going to do it pretty much early on in 2026. Yeah, so, well, then I would just say I'll shortly, get into the cast. There are a few characters, a few actors at least that I've seen in multiple other movies.
Yeah.
We have Peter Parker's father, Adam Scott. I don't know, for some reason I remember this guy from Madame
That's
Web.
how I remember him too, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the actor, he's Adam Scott playing the dad or also Tom.
Yeah.
You have Toni Collette playing Sarah. David Kushner playing Howard. Is that his name? God, I know this actor. But is it how would you
He's
pronounce it?
He's the actor that always looks like he's got tobacco stuffed in his lip, right?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
I pronounce it the way I see it. It's a German name. David Kushner. I mean,
David
or at least
Kushner,
David
yeah.
Kushner.
Yeah.
Kushner. Okay, I'm good there,
Obviously
okay.
American as fuck, though, this guy.
Yeah, American as fuck. Yeah,
Born
with a
and bred
German
in the
name.
South somewhere. This guy is such a redneck that he was born with permanent lip disorder that looks like he's got tobacco under his lip. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
He's a
Yeah,
real
we have
redneck. He was also in Anchorman, the original one.
true, exactly.
The story of Ron Burgundy.
Just like I know this actor, just I could not. This is a guy I've seen him in so much movies, but I
Oh yeah,
could just not tell you his name.
he's fucking hilarious.
Then we have MJ Anthony playing Max, Stephanie V. Owen playing Beth, Krista Stadler playing Omi. Why do they have her listed as Omi in German? That's kind of weird.
Because that's
Omi
what
is
she's
grandma.
called in the English version as well. They all call her Omi.
Omi, yeah, that's basically just that's kind of what I thought a little bit it was weird because just call her grandma. I mean, Omi is man. It's just the German word for grandma, but okay.
To be fair, though,
yeah,
there are some German families in the U.S. that I've known that they all called their grandma Omi, even though she lived there.
Yeah. Okay. But then we have Berta playing Aunt Dorothy. I'm just gonna call her Berta. Huh? Okay. Let's say her real name. Conchata Farrell. I guess that's what her name is. Allison Tolman playing Linda. Maverick Flack. Don't care, some character. Queenie Samuel playing Jordan. Lolo Owen playing Stevie. Sage Hunefeld playing baby Chrissy. We have a DHL man. I did not really think that DHL were a thing in the States, but apparently they are.
That's something I wanted to bring up when we get to that part. Because as far as I know, it's not. So I feel like that's a
that's
joke
weird.
on
That's
Germany a little bit.
Yeah. That's the reason. Yeah, exactly. It could be that it's a joke on Germany because we all know how they are. Yeah. Holy fucking shit! Justin Roiland is in this movie, dude.
Who the fuck is he in this film?
Creator of Rick and Morty. Yeah. Just said he's Clumpy. Who is Clumpy?
What?
However, Justin Roiland apparently is the voice of Clumpy.
Okay. All right.
And
Whatever.
Luke Hawker is the guy that plays Krampus. And Seth Green is Lumpy. I guess it's probably the gingerbread men because they're lumpy, clumpy, and dumpy. Is what they're listed as. So I guess there's probably going to be.
Yeah, it very well could be
the probably the psychotic gingerbread men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be because I can't think of any other character that has a voice because it's not the Jack in the Box caterpillar thing for sure because that thing doesn't have a voice. Yeah, it's got to be those.
Yeah,
but interesting that they're in it, which means now we know where a lot of the humor came from.
Yeah, absolutely. No. However, the movie basically starts out, a typical Christmas mall where the stores just open up and you have like people trying to get all their Christmas presents or whatever.
Chaos
ensues. Yeah, it's like a typical Christmas song playing, but the only thing you see is like the parents, the mom and the dad, running towards something. You don't know what it is because it's all in slow motion. Then you see like two kids fighting, and the one kid is of course obviously Max, the main protagonist. No.
Yep.
Of the movie, and he's getting the shit kicked out of him by another a bigger kid than him. However, this is basically pretty much how the movie in the beginning starts out. Then it cuts to a scene where the entire family is coming home. And like you have like the teenage daughter coming in the door on her phone is just like a little bit aggravated about everything at the moment because she has to be with her family again. Typical teenager. The mom. Yeah, mom, dad comes in with the kid, and the mom is, like getting on to her son, like, oh, what the fuck you were thinking? The guy was like twice your size, and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of the funny thing that made the mom a little bit sympathetic. It's not that she was getting on to him for being in a fight. She was like, Of course, the guy was going to kick the shit out of you, dumbass.
Jackass, what were you thinking? Kid was a lot bigger than him too.
Of course, of
But
course.
The reason he got into the fight, and I think it said here, the reason he got into the fight is
Yes.
because that kid told all the younger kids that Santa Claus doesn't exist, and so that's
Exactly.
why he punched him, and that's why
Yeah,
they
that's
got him.
that exactly. Just like you said, that's something that's established that this kid still believes in Santa Claus. What's fine. I mean, for kids to believe in Santa Claus, I mean, I think it's totally okay. And of course, he got, just like you said. Now this bigger kid was telling other kids that Santa Claus is real and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. However, you have the young kid going on like, "Oh, are we going to listen to Christmas songs and wrap Christmas presents or whatever?" The dad gets a call, something about work or whatever. First, the mom says, "Hey, you said you weren't going to work on Christmas," and he says, "Yeah, but I never said I'm not going to take any calls." And however, then and all of that kind of, like you have a little bit of chaotic situation going on. The dad just says to Max, I mean, you can be happy that I'm not canceling Christmas for the shit you pulled off, and then leaves the room. I mean, let's be honest, we've all been in that position. On Christmas, I fucked up a few things on Christmas too, and my dad got on to me when I was younger. So this is a situation we all know. No, however, I
was
think
terrible kid, especially around Christmas time.
Terrible. I mean, well, yeah, me too. I would say me too. No, however,
It's all the fucking
I'm
sugar.
not sure. What, Matt?
It's all the fucking sugar.
That too. Yeah. Well, this scene is like, I think the parents are talking a little bit, with the kids and everything. I think either the mom or the dad or both of them mentioned, yeah, be careful, because your cousins are coming over and whatever. Then shortly after that, the door rings, and now the family is coming over. And this is like kind of funny because none of the main family, the dad and the kids, like the other. Apparently, it's like this kind of people that are glad when they're gone. No?
Yeah.
Then you have
It's like I don't know if your family was this way. My family wasn't. Everybody generally liked everybody, but I remember friends talking about how much they hated Christmas just because everybody in the family had to come over, and the other kids from the other family were annoying. The parents were annoying. It was just like this big escapade that nobody wanted to do, but they all felt like they had to because it's Christmas, right? And that's what you get here. Like, this family does not like anything about this family. For one, this family is extremely, for all intents and purposes, I would say very like leftist. Not like extreme left, but very left. And the family that's coming over are extremely Republican in a lot of ways.
I mean, they're extremely Republican. I would not consider the other family extremely left. They're just a normal family, in my opinion.
Well, they're not. What I mean is they're not political. They're very like,
they're just normal people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
normal people. And this side is like extreme right showing up.
Extreme Republican. This is like you have like the kid coming in, and this is like a typical, fat kid that's dumb as shit. Does not really say anything.
Fucking mouth breather, dude.
What?
He's such a fucking mouth breather, this kid.
I don't know. This is one of the characters I didn't like because you see him coming into the door, and my instant thought is idiot, fucking moron. And it turns out this kid is a complete fucking idiot. Yeah. However, first he comes in, and then the parents come in. First, it's like the aunt, and she's apparently the only one the normal family likes because she's like actually the only likable one, in my opinion. Then you have like the redneck dad coming in. I mean, Kushner. I'm just going to call him Kushner from now on.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's, I don't know, acting like a typical redneck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then you have like the two twin girls coming in. And then you have like the aunt everybody hates, Berta.
Who they didn't know was coming. They didn't know she was coming. That's what makes this so great.
Yeah, exactly. Because they had no idea she was coming. And then the mom was like, God, did you have to bring her with? And then her sister, now I'm going to call the less annoying redneck lady, was like, yeah, but she was standing there with her suitcases. What should I tell her? blah blah blah. Okay, so basically she invited herself, no more or less. However, the door closes and you have like everybody getting ready, throwing their things around and whatever, until you have Max asking dumbass. I mean, I'm just gonna call it the young kid's mouth breather. Mouth breather. Okay, so Max looks at mouth breather, is like, "Hey, what did you wish from Christmas from Santa Claus?" And he just looks at him with a, you know,
This is why I call him mouth breather, because no matter what, he has not one line in the entire film. Not one. He just does this.
yeah.
That's all he does. He has no lines at all. Yeah, just
However,
stupid,
yeah, then you have
wide
like the
open
two,
mouth.
yeah. Then you have like the other two annoying twin brats that I like. That I even like even less, because the one of the girls sees that Max has a letter in his pocket, is obviously a letter to Santa, and they start, making fun of him about it. Not that anybody notices or whatever, but and then this is like, this is what instantly is kind of like makes the entire, I'm going to call them redneck family. Let's just call them redneck family, so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Then the mom says, "Oh, where's the baby?" And then the dad's like, "Oh, I told you to take it. I told the girls that." He's like, "God, they left a fucking toddler in the car." Like, oh my God, this is like,
It's freezing outside too. Like it's not like it's just a normal day. Like
yeah,
it's cold as balls outside, and they just left this toddler in the car. And then instead of like going to get the kid immediately, like, oh shit, we forgot him. They're like, you left him in the car. No, you left him in the. It's like them just pointing fingers at each other. Fucking
yeah. Who the fuck cares?
typical.
You have a fucking toddler in the car.
Yeah, fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I didn't
However,
like
no,
these guys at all, but I feel like the fact that you don't like them in the film is kind of what makes the whole film funny. Because like
exactly.
there's
I
not
mean,
one
funny
likable
thing is,
character
it turns
besides
out like
maybe the sister.
yes, the sister, the less annoying redneck lady,
Yeah.
is what I'm going to call it. Yeah. However, even though you say throughout the movie, you can all see that none of them actually turn out to be really that bad of a people. They all turn out to the end to be, yeah, no, they're okay people. They're just annoying.
Yeah.
And except for the kids, they're still brats. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, the two girls suck, dude. Like
for what the kids pull off.
these two kids, the twins, are the worst. Worst.
Yes, they suck totally. However, I think actually not much time passes by. They're going down having discussions with the family shit. Oda says a few things that the mom doesn't like, walking around in her kitchen saying, and sit like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna have all that food nobody can pronounce and all this fancy like typical redneck talk or whatever." The mom gets onto her, obviously. Hey, the next time if your house you spent like multiple hours cooking or whatever, then you can complain, but just now sit down and shut the fuck up, because she really gets onto her or whatever.
Right.
Until Berta notices that, okay, she's gone too far and she backs off a little bit. Then it comes to them sitting at the family dinner, having food all together or whatever. Yeah, a typical family dinner. You have like redneck Joe. I mean, like the redneck father, talking about, I don't know, what guns and stuff like that is what he starts up with.
And guns and politics and everything that this family does not want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, see what's understandable. I mean, I talk with my family, politics or whatever, very briefly or whatever, but not necessarily. I mean, Christmas is like, I don't know. It's just a little bit weird. However,
Yeah.
But the other father just brushes it off, like, yeah, okay, whatever. It just just brushes it off or whatever. No. Then they get on again about the mom's food, because it's apparently super fancy food or whatever. Just looks to me like normal Christmas food, but
Yeah.
okay. And of course, the mom gets pissed off and stares off to the kitchen. The dad is like, "Oh, hey, babe, I love it," trying to let his wife know that he actually likes the food.
Yeah.
I think then Berta goes into the kitchen. Then they have the short argument that I just mentioned. I just thought I caught mixed up the time, whatever. Shortly after that, they go back into the dining room. have the food or whatever, and then you see the two twins starting to get onto Max. No?
Yeah.
Start talking, hey, I heard Santa Claus got eaten by his reindeer or something like that.
Yeah, they. So this is one of those things that is actually pretty typical. Like the National Weather Service in the United States every year does a Santa tracker. Like that's a thing in the U.S. And they say that they're tracking Santa Claus across the world, and every like 30 minutes or whatever, they'll give an update about where he's at, and they'll put it on the news, and kids just eat this shit up, right? And so obviously they don't have the TV on to where they're watching this update from the National Weather Service. And so the one girl, one of the twins, is like, hey, I heard Santa Claus had a wreck in his sleigh and shattered his femur. And it was somewhere where it was really snowy and there was no city. So he had to eat all the reindeers, including Rudolph. And of course, like this gets Max all pissed off because they're making fun of something that he like believes in, you know, this typical shit. This kind of thing right here happens all the time.
This is like where the only time where, this is also the scene where I got to like the, you know, his bratty older teen sister.
Yeah.
Because she kind of, you know, defended him. You kind of like, cut this shit out. Stop it.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, I know he's a complete fucking idiot, but you know, you don't have to be a dick about it and stuff like that. Well, it gives her plus points to me, though, the way she handled the situation. One of the other twin girls pulls out the letter because somehow she snipped it out of his pocket. Then starts reading it on dinner table. What is like, right out loud. This is like, oh my fucking god. No, this is like a point of the situation where I think like you have like both parents sitting there, and the parents are both fathers are just sitting there and listening to this, and it's just like, okay. At no point do any of the adults think they have to intervene here.
No.
This is like, I mean, it makes all adults super unsympathetic. I mean, the moms, they were not even in the room at this time. This happened. Yeah? But just like the fathers, it's like, god damn it. I mean, even if the redneck father and then the normal dad are sitting there, it's like, this is clearly something private that he wrote to Santa Claus. It does not matter if you believe in it or not, but that's just, this is so under any moral and ethical level at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. This is completely uncalled for. And most parents would have jumped up and been like, give me the letter. Stop that right now. They just sat there and let her read the whole fucking thing.
Yes. Even though, I mean, at the end, both of the twin sisters get pissed off at him. But the thing is, it shows the character of Max because he's clearly stated to his dad that he hates all of these people. But in his entire letter to Santa Claus, he's basically just wishing for Santa Claus to help everybody out, help out his uncle here, his twins there, and everything. What shows his character, even though no matter how much he hates these people, he just wishes Santa Claus to
make their lives better.
To make their lives better. What is actually a pretty sweet kid, you know, sweet thing to do.
Yeah. I think,
however,
a part that we missed though earlier, and this is his Oma, right? Who, by the way, this might be the thing that irritates you, but this is really what irritates me. She is a German woman from Germany. And it's stated later that her son also speaks German, right? So he obviously grew up with her learning German and speaking German, right?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Okay, we missed the grandma, obviously.
Yeah,
because
Oma.
She's speaking German, and everybody's speaking German with her. It's stated that the son speaks German as well. But the only thing that kind of bothers me is specifically in the German dubbing. In German dubbing, she's not speaking German. She's speaking some gobbledygook language nobody's heard of.
What?
In the German version, I don't remember. She's speaking some other weirdly language. And even in English, what bothers me is what I was genuinely surprised with is you see in an American movie an actor speaking perfect German and not like with a very, very bad American accent was usually the case. Not here. It's just like things that annoy me is she clearly says something and I understand every single word, and then the characters right after she says it repeats it. It's like just have her speak English at that point, for God's sake.
Yeah, it's stupid for a lot of reasons, Mike. So if the kid Like the main protagonist understands everything that she says because he does. She's speaking German to him the whole time. He answers her back in English instead of answering her back in German. And then when she says things later, he has to be the translator for her to everybody else in the room. But some of the things he translates back to them are not what she said. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, well, the meaning of what she
The
said.
meaning, yeah, but still a little odd.
But even though it's clearly stated that this woman speaks English.
Yeah, perfect English. Perfect English. I have no idea why she was
of course, she
speaking
has
German
a German accent, but it's like this is just the thing that I think they probably they maybe just did it to give it like a certain tone because Krampus is a German folklore. Or Austria and Austria, Germany, they both speak the same language.
Yeah.
Don't say that they're Germans, by the way. They'll fucking
No.
kill you.
That's a real good way to get your lights punched out in Austria. Yeah.
It's the same thing with British and American English. You have Austrian German and German.
Yeah.
Just like the Germans are a lot much worse than Americans and British people are.
Yeah.
Because Americans and British, specifically the British people, only start getting on to you as an American if you kind of bring it up.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Yeah? Or usually it's joke, but Germans?
No.
Or the other way around? Austrians?
Yeah.
Oh, you can piss them off super fucking fast.
You never, it's always the dumb American too. It's always the person from our country who shows up to Austria and is like, but you guys are German, right? I've seen that happen multiple times. And the implosion that happens immediately after that is always worth sitting around and watching because they do not like being called German at all. It's like, no, we're not German. I have no idea why that is. It's probably left over from World War II, but at the same time, it's like a cultural thing that you do not want to be compared to the Germans in any way. But they speak the same language.
No, it's always been that way, Matt. Austria and Germany.
It's crazy.
Switzerland too. Switzerland, they speak German as well. No? It's like those three countries are German-speaking countries, It's just like they just have that certain tick. They all get along super fine. Germans, Austrian, and Swiss people, they all get along super fine. But don't all get pissed at you because it's like the order thing that these three countries have. Austria is Austria, Germany is Germany, Switzerland is Switzerland.
Yeah,
they're not Germans. They're Swiss people. They're not Germans. They're Austria. Even though basically you kind of say like you're all speaking the same languages, all of your cultures have kind of developed simultaneously or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a common thing though with countries that share a language. It's the same thing with Puerto Ricans and Mexicans. You never, ever want to call a Puerto Rican Mexican. You will get shanked. You'll get shanked and your body will be found in an alleyway the next day. Like they do not like that shit. And vice versa. Same thing with Mexicans. You never call them Puerto Ricans. They will fucking kill you. So it's just one of those things. Like your cultural identity gets mistaken for another culture. It's like them fighting words. You know what I mean? I just think it's funny. But if you speak German, you realize that there is a huge difference between the German that's spoken in Switzerland and Austria compared to Germany. It is a huge difference. So Germans and Austrians and Swiss can tell each other apart very easily. But for people like us or Americans, it's like same language. I don't get it.
Yeah, for me, it's differently. I can tell them pretty much apart as well.
Yeah, I can now too. But when I was younger and didn't speak any German, not at all.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is with the grandma, she was saying a few things in German.
Pretty much the whole first part of the movie, all she does is
I don't remember it fully. Yeah. However, then after that, Max gets pissed off and runs up into his room.
Yeah.
No, this is where the mom comes in and is totally shocked, like, what? No, because she had no clue what was happening, more or less. No. Then, of course, the dad goes up with Max and gives him back his letter. He took the letter from the twins.
Yeah.
Gave it to him, put him back in the envelope. No. And is kind of like, hey, don't listen to them. He puts him back in the envelope and says, Santa, we're probably kind of pissed if you, Santa's probably going to be disappointed if you don't give him the letter. He puts the letter back into the envelope and gives it back to Max. Then he sits back on the bed, is like, hey, I get you. I understand you. I don't like them as well. Just see it this way. In about 2 or 3 days, they're going to be gone. The dad's just like, let's just try to get along with them for these few days. And after that, they're not going to bother us anymore. You know? But one thing that I like, that I kind of, even though the dad is a fucking idiot, this is kind of like, it is kind of a kind thing. You know, you just gave him back the letter, put it back in the envelope, and, you know, don't listen to those fucking idiots. But even though he should have intervened anyway, the dad, you know, just kisses Max on the forehead, says, I love you, and come back down whenever you feel like it. And then goes back down to the others. You see, like, Max thinking about what he's used to do. And this is where Max just, at one point, gets super pissed off, starts ripping the letter apart, opens up the window, and throws it out of the window. And this is where the first scene where it shows you that something weird is going on, because wind catches the paper and sucks it up into the air, and it disappears into the moon.
Yep.
And then you see, like, these clouds forming, everything like super dark or whatever. Emily basically then just goes to bed. Now this is when things start to go down the next morning, because there's a snowstorm beyond anything everybody has ever seen.
Yeah.
And the family gets up, there's no heat, no flowing water, nothing, and the electricity is out, and nobody actually knows what's going on.
They seem to think it's got to do with the storm. And everybody in the house just kind of thinks, oh, well, you know, there's a storm going on. I'm sure it'll pass, whatever. But honestly, if I were these people, I'd automatically be thinking something weirder was going on, because this is not just some normal fucking storm. Like, if you look out the windows,
I mean, Matt, this is like,
it doesn't look normal at all out there, Mike.
Most people,
not at all.
I mean, Matt, the most people are not going to be like, oh my God, we have some supernatural shit going on. It's a snowstorm in the middle of the fucking winter. Yeah, of course, Matt.
Yeah.
Go like,
it looks different than a snowstorm, though. It looks different than a snowstorm, though. I would have been thinking something like some type of terrorist attack or something, because it's dark as shit. You know what I mean? And storms come, you're warned about them like days in advance.
You're probably thinking something like a nuclear winter or something like that, nah? Is what you're probably thinking about, something on that level.
Right.
Yeah. How exactly? I mean, but even if it's like from one day to the next, you're not really sure what's going on or whatever, what's happened. But a lot of people would just assume it's a bad storm. But it's also weird that nothing is working. No heat, no water, no electricity or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, everybody knows something weird is going on, but nobody thinks about what's actually happening, of course, except for Max. He looks out of the window and sees that there's a snowman outside. What is weird, because in all of that weather, who the fuck goes out and builds a snowman?
Right. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. He notices there's a snowman in their yard, and nobody built a snowman before. So the other hint that something weird is going on is that the minute Omi realizes this is going on, she immediately goes to the fire and starts building up the fire more, and is like, okay, well, we need to keep this fire running. She's already thinking that it's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. She wants to keep the fire running. However, the teen daughter is trying to get a hold of her boyfriend. No? And can't get a hold of him, and is worried, of course, and asks her parents if she can go over to her boyfriend's house. Mom doesn't want her to go, and the dad's like, yeah, it's just a snowstorm. She can go check out to see if anything's going on. I mean, at this point, it's the middle of winter. They don't suspect anything super suspicious to happen, so they let her go out. What is kind of a little bit of a dumb decision, in my opinion. I don't think I would have done that, but however, around the same time, you have the DHL driver coming by bringing presents.
Yeah.
And this is another weird thing happening, because if you have a DHL driver coming by, just bringing something like, these are addressed to you, whatever, and I never ordered them, and I have like an entirely big bag full of presents, I don't think I would
Yeah.
have brought them into my house. I would have checked to see what's inside of them, who they were from or whatever. And then I'm going to be honest, I would have probably just left them in front of the front door and tell them, hey, this is not my shit, take it with.
Yeah.
But for plot's sake, these people are complete fucking idiots.
Yeah.
And they take the bag in and put all the presents underneath the Christmas tree. I
And
mean,
it's not like it's in a box either. Like people will deliver things in a box, but it is a giant velvet red sack. You know what I mean? It's not a DHL box. It's a huge sack
no,
of stuff. And I've been like, I don't know where you got this shit, but get it the fuck out of here. I don't know who it belongs to.
it's weird.
By the way, I had to look it up. DHL does operate in the United States everywhere,
Okay.
but I did not know that. I thought it was strictly a European thing.
Me too. I thought so too. Yeah.
But okay. That shows how long I've been over here. I don't even know what's in the States anymore.
Yeah. However,
Whatever.
okay. Then after that, it cuts to the teenage daughter going over towards trying to get to her boyfriend's house until she stops at one point and just notices that there is nobody anywhere.
Mhm.
She looks around and she sees there's nobody in the cars. Apparently, there is nobody in the other houses. No light. Apparently, the entire village appears to be a ghost town. Now, this is something you
Yeah.
could have discussions over.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have discussions over. Now, has Krampus already taken all of the other families?
That is what I
Or-
assumed.
Yeah, or is Krampus taken specifically only this family? Now, you could talk about it for multiple hours. Maybe that he took all the other families in the night, but the end shows you. We'll get down that road when we get there.
Yeah.
I think also this is where the teen daughter sees, what's it called? Hoofen,
Yes.
the English name, huh?
Hooves.
What's the English?
Hooves.
Yeah, hooves. What?
Hooves.
Hooves. No?
Yeah.
Okay. She sees hooves in the snow and she
Mhm.
has no idea what it is until she looks on one of the roofs and sees Krampus
Yes.
standing on it.
And this is a good scene. I like how they do
Yes.
this.
Yeah, she
This is
gets
very,
super
very
terrified
ominous.
and just runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and runs. And this is like a cool scene. She's running for her life, and you can see like Krampus running on the rooftops, jumping from one rooftop to the other. Really brilliant. It's CGI, of course, but it's
Yeah.
brilliantly made.
I was gonna say this film barely has any CGI in it. And I actually had to go look it up because a lot of it either was done very tastefully to where you didn't notice it was CGI or they didn't use it. And the thing is, they did not use a lot of CGI. Almost all of this is stage, except for this Krampus jumping from building to building, and it looks so good that you don't notice it's CGI. So awesome,
Yeah.
awesome done.
Yeah, it is great. However, I think she hides under, I think, a plow car. It's not the one from the DHL driver. I mean, they come to that one, I think, later on.
They find him later. This one's just
Yeah.
a truck that's parked in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing. All the cars seem to be abandoned. All the trucks seem to be abandoned. So something's happened to everybody else, like we said. It's just there's no explanation for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she hides underneath the truck and
Yeah.
meets her end right then and there.
Yeah, she hides underneath the truck. First, she sees Krampus landing on the street right beside the truck.
Yep.
Circling around it, and then Krampus is gone. But then on the other side of the truck, you see like a box
A little Jack in the Box. Yeah.
opening up, something coming out, and then Jack in the Box. Then her just screaming. Then it cuts back to the family. Apparently,
Yeah.
quite some time has passed now, and they're all like, no fucking idea what to do, freaking out. What are we going to do or whatever? Because now the daughter,
It's
hasn't
missing.
came
Yeah,
back.
and has been a while.
So then the dad seems like, okay, he's going to go check on her. And the redneck dad says, okay, he's going to go with her to check on him. This is where they go out,
Yeah.
try to find the daughter, but just can't find her. And also, the two dads notice that something is weird because nobody seems to be there beyond them until they come across the DHL truck.
Yeah.
And when they're looking at it, the window is smashed in and they see a little bit of blood, but the driver is gone. And everybody's like, and they're still kind of thinking. And then the redneck dad is like, "Oh well, he probably flew out of the window." And then the other dad is like, "No, no, it's the other way around. Glass is pushed inside
Right.
from
Right.
the outside."
So he was obviously
And then
attacked. Yeah.
he was attacked, obviously, and this is where they both just hail back to the house. And then close. And then they barricade the doors
Yep.
because at this point, both of the dads knows that something super weird is going on. What?
One thing I will praise the whole family on here, and this is done really well, and it's kind of one of those things that you wouldn't expect from this family because they don't seem like a very cohesive group. They seem like they don't like each other. They wouldn't work well together. Everybody in the family is doing their best to keep the kids calm. Everybody's trying to
Yes.
keep the kids calm, trying to keep them occupied, trying to keep them from freaking out, and they're doing this without talking to each other. So I thought that was cool. Like that chemistry came out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah. Well, actually, cool scene is it cuts back to I think I'm not sure if this is the right point. Max looks out the windows and notices more and more snowmen being built,
Yep.
but nobody at this point is actually listening to him. The day goes on and slowly goes into night, where at one point, even Max looks out of the window and sees Krampus on the roof of the neighbor's house just staring at them.
Yeah, through
Yeah.
binoculars. Yeah.
Yeah. And also on their way, I think also on their way back, the two dads, the one dad got a gun out of his truck because
Yeah,
he
the
noticed something.
redneck dad has a stockpile of weapons in the back of his Humvee.
Exactly. And before they went back, they went into the other houses because they noticed something was off. It might have even been the house of the daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah, I
And
think
they
that's
saw
where
like
they
a
went.
huge.
They do go to the
What?
daughter's boyfriend's house and nobody's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They see a whole crack going through the entire ceiling down to the wall, and then through the chimney, and then they
Yeah.
see the hooves again,
Yeah.
and they're just staring at this like, what the fuck happened here? Something clearly super huge came down through the chimney with hooves. And I
Yeah.
think this is where on the way back, where the redneck dad just goes out and gets his gun.
Yeah.
And now at this point, when they get back to the house, they snug to close everything off. And the granny, Umi, has had the chimney fire running and is like, and she's totally on keeping the fire running, whatever.
Yeah.
In all this, nobody really knows what's going on. And everybody's trying to basically figure out what's happening until Grandma Naomi starts to tell her story.
Yeah.
Because she knows what's going on. She's like, okay, this is basically what's happening, and the grandma tells her story.
Scene is done in kind of a almost Tim Burton style, which I
Exactly.
really liked. Like
Yeah.
they went back and did it kind of in a I would say CGI claymation kind of thing, and it's really
Yes.
really
Yes.
well done.
It's great.
I
It's
love
great.
it
This
when
scene
movies
also,
do this. Yeah.
to a certain degree, it feels like a kind of a prequel to the movie.
Yeah.
This could have been this thing itself could have been a movie on its own. Would have been pretty fucking cool. She basically tells her story
Yeah.
how this is all shown just like you said, like a kind of Pixar, Tim Burton kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
She basically tells like in her village, the people kind of were all super mean, turned on each other or whatever,
Mhm.
and she was the only one that still believed in the magic of Christmas and that wonders can happen. But when the issues at home among her own family started, at one point she just lost all belief and wished for everybody to go away. And she also said
Yeah.
that in this night uh, was not a normal Christmas night because Santa Claus did not visit their village in this night. It was something more ancient. A dark spirit visited us.
Right.
And she explains that he took everybody in the entire village and that she was lying in bed. She heard Krampus come and take her parents, take everybody she loved. And she thought she was going to be the next. But when Krampus came to her and thought he was going to take her, Krampus spared her. just gave her a wink, gave her a small present box, and then left.
Yeah.
She said basically he left her as a reminder to the world what happens when the spirit of Christmas dies.
Yes.
And when everybody loses all belief in Christmas, as a reminder.
Yeah.
It cuts back to the grandma holding a Christmas bell that has the name Krampus
Yeah.
carved into it.
Yeah.
Brilliant scene, by the way.
It's
great.
brilliantly done.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the thing that I love about this is that it's done very dark as well. Like, it's not this is a very tame horror film, right? It is. It's a tame horror film. I don't think we ever see anybody get killed, right? They do die, but you don't see them get killed at all.
Yeah.
But this scene in itself is extremely dark and very, very, like, almost evil in its tone, and it sets the tone for the rest of the movie. And I love this. I'm with you. I would love to see them make a movie just out of this. This scene that where she told her story, and I would watch that in a heartbeat because it was so well done. Yeah, brilliant. So she gets left with a
It was
silver
really
bell
brilliant.
as a
However,
reminder. Yeah, and we'll see that bell
It's a
again.
reminder with Krampus carved into it. And everybody's funny thing because the entire family is looking at her like,
Yeah,
I mean, the her son, you know, like the normal dad, you can see clear in him and his wife's faces that they kind of want to believe her, but it just sounds too absurd to them. The kids obviously can see in their faces they believe every fucking word she's saying.
oh, they're terrified.
And
They're terrified. Good
They're,
job.
they're terrified shitless. And then the redneck dad is like, oh, come on, this Terry bullshit, blah, 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 going out.
This fucking guy loses it. He kind of pissed me off in this scene because he could have been a little bit nicer. You know what I mean? But he's like, oh, y'all gonna sit around and listen to this fairy tale senile bullshit from this old woman, blah, blah, blah. Dude, if I was the other dad, I would have slapped the shit out of him. Like, you're talking about my mom at this point. He was a total dick about this story.
Yes, absolutely. But the point is, at this point, specifically the dads, they have more than reason enough to believe her. It's Christmas night. They saw something. They saw in another house, something came down through a fucking chimney with hooves.
Yeah.
Everybody in the fucking village is missing. Now, this is a point, Matt, with the dad after what they've seen. It's safe to assume something super weird is going on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I would have believed every word of the story, and I would have been like, well, shit.
The thing is, I would have kept the fire going on at all times because apparently it's what keeps Krampus out of the house.
Right.
However, the night passes on and they decide to all sleep in the living room.
Yeah.
Until the fathers decide to take guard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the normal dad is like, here, I take over the night shift or whatever. And then the redneck dad is like, no, fuck it. No, I'll be fine. Just go and, spend time with your family. This is like the first time where the redneck dad, you kind of come across that he's not really what?
Well, so here's the thing. I don't know if we missed it or if this is yet to come. You might have to correct me. But when the two fathers went out, didn't the redneck guy almost get killed and he got bitten in his leg really bad? Or is that later?
Yes. No, that happens before they come back because they get attacked by something. You're right. On their way back after they were at the daughter's boyfriend's house.
Right. So
they get attacked.
as they're coming back, they're having to trudge through snow that's like 5 feet deep. So it's up to their waist as they're coming back to the house. Something attacks him from underneath the snow and almost completely yanks him under. But the other father pulls out the gun that he gave him, which belonged to his wife, and shot back at whatever was trying to get him. So he got him back out of the snow and they got back in the house. But he's got this gigantic bite out of his leg and he's bleeding. They came back in the house and he had to be wrapped up and all this shit. So they know that something really fucked up is going on. So why his reaction to this story? You know what I mean?
Yes.
His reaction to her story should have been a little bit different, I think.
I know. I totally forgot that part. At this part, I mean, you have just like I say, you have some weird shit coming down chimneys. They got attacked by something that appeared to be a fucking snow shark.
Yeah, a snow shark. Right. A fucking snow shark.
the snow shark, and now it's during nighttime. They've all went to sleep. But the redneck dad, you have like the two fathers having a short conversation because the normal dad is like, "Hey, maybe do you want to go sleep a little bit or whatever?" And the redneck dad is like, "Nah, it's fine. Just go and spend some time with your family because the redneck dad is kind of like, you know what, my whole family is here. Your daughter is missing, so maybe you should just,
Yeah, you go get some sleep. At this point, he's developed a little bit of respect for the other dad because the other dad is the whole reason he's alive right now.
Yes, exactly.
So
Yeah.
he's kind of like, he apologizes to him too, but not in a nice way. This guy is like not very good about how he picks what he says, but he's like, I always thought you were a limp dick pansy, but now I realize that was wrong. And so he's got a little bit more respect for him. He's like, no, I'll take first shift. You go sleep with your family, and I'll watch the fire.
Yeah, this guy that's even a dick when he's trying not to be a dick, just trying to be sorry, he still manages to be an asshole.
Worst fucking relative ever.
Now, when the night begins, you have a hook come down.
Yeah.
Through the chimney.
Right.
With a gingerbread man on it. Because they forgot to keep the fire going. No? Okay, then you
Jackass
have like...
didn't keep the fire going, right.
Yeah, Jackass didn't keep the fire going. Okay, mouth breather wakes up.
Yeah.
And because you have like... the chain is being pulled, so it jingles a little bit. This wakes up the mouth breather. And he walks up to the chimney, pulls the hook, and sees the gingerbread man on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, I knew this guy was a fucking idiot straight up to begin with, but this is like absolute confirmation. Biggest dumbass of the century.
Yes.
However, what does he do? He looks at the gingerbread man, takes a bite out of it. Funny, this is the first absolute hilarious scene.
Yeah.
Because the gingerbread man all of a sudden is like, screaming at him.
It comes to life, realizes it has a bite out of its head, and starts attacking him, which is it's fucking brilliant.
Brilliant. Takes the chain, wraps it around mouth breather, around his neck, hooks it back into the chain, and goes like, "You can pick him up now." And then the chain just
pull him up.
Pull him up. I guess it's either one of Krampus's helpers or Krampus himself just pulls off the fucking chain. Mouth breather goes into the chimney, and he's gone. They're not necessarily gone. Everybody wakes up, and then they try to grab the kid and try to pull him back.
Right.
Eventually, they all fail, and then the kid gets pulled up the chimney and is gone.
Yep. Gone. Kid number 2 gone.
I mean, I think at this point, dad gets totally fucking pissed off and tries to go out to get his kid, but comes back in because he can't see anything or whatever.
Right.
And then they barricade the doors again. And this is also seen like, okay, trying to figure out what's going on. But this is also where the entire family breaks up. The kids go out to do something with Berta, I think. And the dad with the mom is trying to come up with some plan how they can get out of this, while the redneck family are kind of still sitting downstairs. While all this is happening, the presents they brought in start to move.
Yes.
So noticing that this is obvious now, the presents were from Krampus.
Right. Yeah.
This is also, it's also like what also makes you believe throughout the movie that Krampus more or less was testing this family if they were fall for the shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like a game he's
because
playing
he took
with
literally
is what it feels like.
He took everybody else except for this family.
Yeah.
You could even have the discussion, Matt. Did he actually take everybody else?
I think once we get to the end of the film and you see the end, then you can kind of like debate about what we think happened with everyone else, or if any of this, is actually happening, or you know what I mean?
Well, no, we can debate that when we get there.
Yeah.
However, at this point, you have like everybody in the family at different areas of the house, and these presents now come to life, and they're going to start attacking the individual family members. This is also, these are kind of like scenes that happen simultaneously, right after one of each other.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure which one starts first. First, you have like the kids upstairs getting attacked by the Christmas presents. while you have redneck dad down in the kitchen having a gunfight with gingerbread men.
Yeah. I think these
I'm gonna
things are
start.
happening simultaneously.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with this scene because I love it. I mean, of course, these gingerbread men are psychotic serial killers,
Yeah.
and they're just sadistic as fuck, and they're having fun with it because
Yeah.
they have like this nail gun, and they're shooting at a fucking nail gun with it. One's holding two are moving the nail gun, and the other one is like laughing.
And
Oh,
they're
God.
shooting
I
the
remember
dad in the leg with these fucking nails, dude. Like this shit hurts. This does not feel good.
Yes.
Like this
Yeah,
hurts like
yeah.
hell. They've shot him in the leg 3 times, and I think they shot him in the hand, and the whole time they're laughing sadistically. And he doesn't know what to do because all he's got is a fucking shotgun. You know what I mean? Like he could use the shotgun, but his leg is shot, and now he has to put something in front of his face to block the rest of the nails. So he grabs a
Yeah.
fucking cookie sheet and puts it in front of his face, and they keep firing nails into the cookie sheet, and he's just kind of sitting behind it, using it as a shield, right?
Yeah.
Until the nail gun runs out.
Yeah. Then the gingerbread men fall on the floor, coming at him. He shoots 2 of the gingerbread men, and then the other one still comes screaming at him. And then the dad's like, "Okay, now it's over." And then all of a sudden, it's gone. What happens? The redneck family had a dog. I showed before the thing is, all of a sudden it stops, and then you see like the dog eating the gingerbread men.
Yeah.
And this is like a dog that never listened to the dad. He's like, "Oh, he is useless, mutt," or whatever.
Oh yeah, he
He's
just spent like the last scene cussing out this dog and saying how fucking useless he is. Right?
Yeah.
The dog saved his life. It's pretty fucking funny.
And then it comes up to the attic.
The thing that's cool about that scene though, Mike, is that they do it so epically too, because you really think this gingerbread man is about to take this dude out. Like you get that view of him flying through the air with, I think he's got a knife and he's about to like stab it in his eye, and then all of a sudden the dad closes his eyes and looks away, and then he doesn't hear anything, and he looks back and the dog's just chewing. It ain't the fucking gingerbread man. I fucking love that, dude. Brilliant scene.
Yeah, however, then it cuts back to the attic where this is like, I would say, definitely the creepiest scene.
Nightmare fuel.
This is where
Nightmare fuel, yes.
Nightmare fuel. This is like the creepiest scene in the movie. This is where the kids up in the attic get attacked by the toys.
Yes.
You have, I would say, I'm not entirely sure how it starts. I remember the kids are up in the attic because they heard something, and they're all up there. And then to see a Jack in the Box. I think it's supposed to be the same Jack in the Box that got the teen daughter. They heard it pop up. No, the next thing you hear is scream. You hear screaming. Of course, then all the mom and dad and the aunt run up the attic to see what's happening, and all you see like the less annoying redneck lady see the Jack in the Box eating her kids, like the 2 girls.
Yeah, you're getting this the first time you see this creature. You're getting a side view of it stuffing its face with the legs of the girl that are still sticking out of its mouth. And it's just like cramming her into its mouth. And it turns towards the camera and it looks like a completely normal Jack in the Box. And then it does something that reminds me of Blade 2, right? Is it Blade 2? Where the mouth like opens in 3 different ways and there's teeth everywhere. This thing is a fucking nightmare, dude. This thing is hideous.
But what makes it funny is it takes a napkin and
wipes its mouth. Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But it's scary as fuck. Like this is a great scene.
It then was scary because then you see like a robot toy coming on the back attacking the dad from behind.
Yeah.
Then you see like a kind of puppet on the wall that's kind of like a spider on the wall.
Yeah.
Opens up this wing and is kind of like a hybrid of I don't know, Barbie doll spider bat thing.
Yeah, it's like a doll spider angel kind of thing. It's fucked up. Real fucked up.
Super fucked up. The spider doll attacks Spider doll, I'm gonna call it. Spider doll attacks, I think, the other kids and the mom.
Mother.
While the I think the robot toy attacks the dad, and then you have a major fight scene.
Yeah, so the mom is trying to get this robot off of the dad's back, right? And this kind of shocked me as a little. This got me as a little weird because this fucking robot toy has a huge butcher knife that he's got stuck into the dad's back, right? It's a pretty big butcher knife, but it's stuck into the dad's back. The mom's trying to get the robot off of him and finally does. And when she does, he goes, bear, bear. And she's like, what? He's like, bear. And turn around. And there's this fucking cuddly, big, cute bear with these rancid, fucking gigantic monster teeth coming out of it and grabs onto her fucking arm. And so they're trying to wrestle the bear off of her arm now.
Yeah.
This thing is also nightmare fuel, dude. This is like something from my childhood nightmares right here. This bear. I'll put him up on the screen so you can see him, but holy fuck, dude. This thing is terrifying.
Yeah. Everything here in this scene of FIFA is terrifying. However, you have like the scene go down. They manage to get the toys off the mom and the dad.
Yeah.
They take the kids downstairs. They actually, I'm not entirely remember how they do it, but they actually manage to save one of the girls. I think they shoot at the Jack in the Box, and somehow it spits either one of them out, or she comes out the other side. I can't fully remember. However, they managed to save one.
It lets go of the daughter. It lets go of the second daughter. Like they hit it enough to where it lets go. But the thing is so full because it just ate the other daughter that it can barely move. So it's trying to like pull itself across the floor to the air vent that's against the wall because it wants to go through the vent and into the house, right? And it's like slowly pulling itself because it's so full because it ate the other girl. And they're like hitting it the whole time that it's trying to get away.
Yeah.
The dad, who's just now gotten away from the gingerbread men downstairs, runs upstairs with his gun. And by the time he gets there with his gun, the Jack in the Box has already gotten into the air vent and into the house. So he doesn't get to shoot it. But what he does is he sends his dog after it. The stupid pug that ate the gingerbread man. Yeah. He sends the dog through the air shafts. And so you hear this fight between the dog and the Jack in the Box in the air vent. And then you hear the dog squeal, so you know the dog probably got eaten, right?
Yeah. However, no, this is like pretty much after this point, everything goes down pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Because they kind of managed to get the fire back on a little bit, yeah. But then like the rest people that everybody's surviving is still like, okay, what are we going to do now? No, because obviously they're like, we can't wait here because they're still there, and they have like they can still hear all of these evil toys, in the ceiling, or whatever,
in the house.
The redneck dad is like, oh, I just got my ass kicked by Christmas cookies. Funny scene, by the way. However, no. Yeah. And I think I'm not sure if this happens now or later on because you have like the kids going on and the Omi, the grandma is saying something, I'm not sure, in German. No, this is the scene where you say like Max translates for the others until Berta just looks at him and is like, yeah, what she's saying is we're fucked. Then the other Oma is like, how the hell did you know that? He says, yeah, because I'm old enough to know when somebody's just saying we're fucked.
Yeah.
The other the other four adults, parents that are still alive, are still discussing on what to do. And that's where they come up with the plan to get to the plow machine, the plow car that they saw.
Yeah, the snow plow.
And then just take off and get as far away as possible.
Yeah.
Then shortly after this is where shit actually starts to go down because a hook comes flying in through the window, wraps around Berta, and pulls her out.
Yeah.
And this is the point where everybody gets into the front room, and you have all of Krampus's helpers coming in everywhere.
Yeah, and this scene right here felt like a Krampus parade in Austria. Like if you go online and check out some of the parades in Austria with Krampus, this is what this felt like. And they're all dressed in that kind of gear too. They don't have like witch faces or whatever. They're all wearing masks, like the wooden masks that you see the Krampus actors wearing, like in Austria in the parade. So it's like a full parade of Krampus minis coming through the house, terrorizing everybody.
Yeah, of course, supposed to be like Krampus's helpers, his dark elves or whatever.
Yeah.
And first the family think like, okay, they're gonna all kill them or whatever, until they hear a big horn, and all of the Krampus's helpers leave the apartment, and everybody's like, okay, now we have to get the fuck out of here. So
Yeah.
they take the whole family and they say they're going to hold their hands and get to the plow machine, except for the Oma,
Yep.
the grandma that stays back.
Yep.
And of course, the dad is trying to prevent this from happening because, of course, he wants to
His
save his
mom, yeah.
mom. Yeah. But then she just slams the door shut. And then Max, the son, is like, oh no, she's trying to keep off Krampus so we can get away. Yeah. Of course, the dad eventually accepts this and then the family takes off. Yeah. And this is also a brilliant scene because you see, this is where Krampus actually comes down through the chimney. You see
Yep.
like a big crack coming down.
Very
everything,
well done. Yes.
Very. Then you see like the grandma standing in the front room, and you see like Krampus coming out. First, his goat horns,
Yeah.
and then his entire silhouette you see come out. Him with this dark, filthy, red Santa Claus cloak he has on,
Yeah.
where he basically does not say much to the grandma, just looks at her, and
Yeah.
she looks at him. He just, with his real long, creepy fingers, touches her on his face.
Yeah.
Then pulls out a bag and opens it up, kind of inviting her to look into it. And then you see like all of these evil toys just jumping out of the bag.
Yeah, dude, it's a good scene. Yeah.
It's brilliant scene. This is like the first scene where you just fully see Krampus. And the only negative thing I have to say about this is just Krampus's face. It's one simple mask, and his mouth never moves. He makes these typical noises or whatever, and I don't think he has to talk, but I think they just should have done some kind of facial animation there.
I don't know, man. I'm still kind of on the fence about this costume. I feel like because there's one scene later where Max confronts him and you get like a really, really good close up of the face, and you see underneath the mask his real eyes, right? And his eyes almost look reptilian. I don't know if you noticed that, but they look like reptilian eyes. And right underneath the eyes, you see skin that looks a little bit greenish and scaly, a bit like a reptilian. So I feel like this thing that he has over his face that basically looks like Santa Claus. It looks like Santa Claus. This mask that he's wearing is just to cover up his real face. And that's why the mouth doesn't move. So we never actually see his real face. I think that's a mask. Yeah.
I know. I just did not like that part about the mask. I mean, however,
It could have been a better design. I'll give you that. It could have been a better.
I think it could have been a better design. How should I say it? It does not really it doesn't break the movie for me. That's just one thing about the movie that I think they could have done better, in my opinion. No?
Yeah.
However,
Still
then
insanely
you see, like,
creepy.
yeah, really, really creepy. Now, however, you see at this point, the family trying to get to the plow machine. And this is where, by the time they get to the plow machine, they get all taken off one by one by the snow sharks.
Right.
I think it's first the ant that the snow sharks take. Then the father tries to sacrifices himself to hold off the snow sharks with the shotgun.
Yeah.
Then the mom, together with I think it's the aunt and the mom. No, they take off with the kids, and the dad tries to hold off the snow sharks. However, aunt, and mom and kids manage to get to the plow machine. When they're there and putting the kids into the car, plow machine, I'm not sure the plow car, I don't know.
Yeah.
The aunt gets taken out. No?
Yeah.
Shortly after that, the mom.
Yeah.
No?
Everybody just eats it one after another here.
Exactly.
Everybody just dies.
Then after that, the kids try to get the car going, but nothing happens. You can't get right in the moment when they actually get the car to work. The other twin girl gets pulled out by one of Krampus's elves.
Yeah.
And after this point, the Max gets out of the car and Krampus lands right in front of him. Just looks at him and then just throws a box in front of Max's feet and then disappears. Max, of course, opens up the box and it's another silver bell with Krampus carved into it.
Basically, he got the same treatment as the grandmother.
But of course, I mean, the point... Exactly. At this point, to be honest, from my point of view, I think they could have ended the movie here.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't, though.
Yeah, but because they could have ended it here and could have maybe left it up for a potential sequel or whatever.
Yeah.
But however, just like then you have like a repeating of the grandma saying like, yeah, I was left back as a reminder to what happens when the spirit of Christmas dies. No? However, then you see like shortly after
Yeah.
that, Max walking through the snow. He's now trailing Krampus and his helpers.
Yeah.
Until you see like all of the dark elves and his other helpers and kind of not reindeer, but kind of reindeer with weird goat horns.
These things are cool, man. I love this
And-
whole setup.
It all looks super fucking cool, and they're like now having a party because they slaughtered everybody or something like that. Until Max approaches them and screams at them like, "Hey, asshole!"
Yeah.
And then they all turn around and look at him, and Max just screams at him like, "I want my family back," and he says, "I take my wish back. Please make it all undone. I want my family back," and throws the bell at Krampus.
Yep. And it lands right in front of his feet. And you
Huge mistake.
kind of feel like there's going to be
Yeah.
a redemption arc here. Like there's a little bit of hope that you're given here.
And then,
A little bit.
there's a little bit of hope, but at this point, it's like it's kind of a little bit brave and stupid at the same time
Yeah.
because this kid knows who this is. This is Krampus.
Yeah.
Krampus doesn't give, Krampus only takes.
Right.
There's no way you are going to convince this entity, and that's what he is. He is an entity, of giving anything back he has taken. So that's kind of like, if I was in this situation at that point, of course you would be grieving, obviously, what this kid is doing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have gone after him.
Oh, I would have.
I don't know.
I would have. I would have
Yeah.
just because there's that small chance that you could get your family back. The only thing that would have made me think twice about it is how fucking scary all this looks. Like Krampus himself is probably one of the scariest monsters I've seen in a while in a horror film. Like this guy is huge and he's terrifying. And
Yeah.
then he's got all these little dark elves around him and the fucking reindeer creatures. Everything there is just like nightmare fuel.
Yeah,
I
but
would not
that's
have
kind of
gone
the point
anywhere
of-
near this.
Kind of like, at this point, this is like screaming at him, calling him names, swearing at him.
It's very brave.
It is very brave, but obviously, even at that point, I do not think it would help because you're obviously not going to kill this guy. You know, if you know what he is, he's an entity. So, I mean, maybe he's already decided to spare you. So maybe you can talk
Move
with
along.
him or whatever. Huh? But I mean, there's nothing you're physically going to do against this guy. However, no? Krampus all of a sudden puts on the lights and everybody starts having a party with him and his dark elves. Krampus pulls off some magical spell mumbo jumbo stuff and opens up a crater that kind of appears to be a portal to hell or underworld or whatever.
Right.
Max comes running up to Krampus and is crying and please give me my family back, please. And for a very short second, everybody is quiet. All of the dark elves, everything. And you see Krampus looking down at him like, just like you say, the short second where maybe something is going to happen. Maybe he will actually show mercy until everybody starts laughing again. And Krampus just grabs him on the head. No, first they show the twin girl that they throw into this crater.
They have her.
They haven't killed her yet.
Yeah.
And then Krampus starts laughing, picks him up by the head, pulls him over to the crater, and just drops him in.
Yep. And he falls straight down into hell. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is brilliant scene. All of a sudden, you see like right in the moment where where Max dies, he wakes up. No, and now all of a sudden it's the next morning. No, in bed. No, okay. He looks into his room and everything seems to be okay.
Yeah.
No, he sees people walking around everywhere and
Whole family's back.
And even outside, you can see lights everywhere, cars everywhere. Things seem to be normal again. He goes down, and it's a normal Christmas morning. Everybody's getting along fine. Everybody's having fun, packing out their presents. A typical Christmas morning. The Max sits between his parents. His mom and dad says, "No, Merry Christmas, we love you," and then they give him his present. Max opens up his present, and it's a silver ball with Krampus carved into it. And first, Max just looks at everybody's like super happy and fun and having a great time until they all look at the bell. And it's like a moment where they all realize what has actually happened. Like now all of their memory comes back. And then it just zooms out until you see their house. And it zooms out even further where you have like, what are these snowballs called? What are they called?
Yeah, snow globes.
Christmas?
Snow globes, yeah.
Until you see where their house into a snow globe. Then you see Krampus placing it on a cupboard and then just zooming further out where you can basically see Krampus's lair. And you have like these countless snow globes
everywhere.
hanging everywhere.
Yeah.
And right before the end, when you're
and they're all
in
full of
Krampus's
families
lair,
and houses that he's already taken back. Yeah.
Exactly. You see all of these horrible Christmas toys coming towards you to the screen. Brilliant ending, by the way.
Yes.
And this is kind of the thing where you can have the debate on, did they actually take the entire village or was it only the family? Because you can see in the snow globe only their house.
Right.
Just like in all of the other snow globes, you can only see one house, not villages.
Right.
I would say to believe that I think is clearly only the family that he has taken and not the whole village. When I look at discussions about this movie, a lot of people, what they do in situations like this or movies like this, they try to imply real world logic into these
you
scenarios.
Can't. Yeah.
But you can't, because you can see the fact that Krampus is an entity. A dark Christmas spirit, an entity that has some kind of reality bending, warping powers of some kind. So you can pretty much say he kind of shielded this house or what is around this house from the rest of the village, so he could do with his family what he want, because his focus was specifically this family. And I'm going to old German folklore. Krampus did not target entire villages or entire cities. Krampus always targeted specific people, like the naughty people. So that's why I always look across that. I always assume that a lot of things happening is not really the village. It's basically kind of like the snow globe that Krampus created.
Yeah.
And he basically is kind of just fucking around with them in this own kind of pocket universe he has kind of created for himself.
That's exactly what I got from it.
That's what I got around from, because that's what Krampus does. And at the end, you have like this family. They're all together again and everything's loving or whatever, but they have to live Christmas in an endless cycle for the rest of eternity.
Yes. Yes. It's like hell. It's like it's their own personal kind of hell because they don't really like each other all that much. And the relationship between the family members wasn't all that great. And they're stuck in that perpetual Christmas for the rest of their lives, eternity, I would assume.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it. It is a pocket universe kind of theory. And I think the things that we were seeing throughout the movie, the way I took it was kind of the transition from it being reality and then being his reality. So it starts slowly and then kind of ends up to where they're inside the snow globe towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of something like that. It's hard to explain exactly how, but even when I saw this movie the first time, I took it away as, of course, he has some kind of reality warping powers. Why? When I talk to this, with friends of mine, they're like, how could he have those powers? He's a dark ancient spirit. He's some kind of godlike
Krampus. He's a
being.
dark spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, he's like Pennywise. I mean, it's a good way to think of him. Like he can create his own thing around you, but exactly. He would be kind of a dark spirit or a god is what I would say he was. This movie does it right. I mean, the movie had a huge budget. The story was obviously really well thought out. The movie did really well, was one of the things I wanted to point out. they released it right before Christmas in 2015 when it came out. It did really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody remembered it. It had a massive budget, but they did everything they could with that budget. There's not one part of this film where I look at it and say, oh, that could have been done better, or that looked kind of cheesy. Everything in the film is done really, really well. There's a lot of artsy stuff that went on behind the scenes here to make this look great.
Yeah.
And the characters are absolutely hilarious. Like, I would be fine if you removed Krampus from the whole thing and just had this family have to spend an entire Christmas together. That would be a fucking awesome comedy. Like, the characters are that good.
Yeah, that's good. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So definitely a Christmas staple film for me. Like, I will watch this one again and again because it is a good horror film. There's not a drop of blood in this movie,
Yeah,
but it doesn't need it.
Yeah, that's just like the thing that I say. I do not think that horror movies have to have gore or blood
No.
in it. A horror movie can be just as great without any of that. I think Krampus, in my opinion, is a very good example of this. You see no blood, you see very little gore, and everybody dies mostly off screen. But still, it's a great movie. The only thing negative I have to say about the movie is, of course, I did not like the Krampus mask. I thought it just looked too stiff. That is one part I didn't like. And the next thing is specifically if you're German. And for me, for example, I'm an American that was raised and socialized in Germany. I speak both German and English on a native level. It's fucking annoying as shit when the grandma is saying stuff because it's like in those scenes, it's like everything is fucking dumb. Because what I was genuinely surprised watching this movie is usually when you hear like in English movies and the actors speaking German, it's super hilarious because they speak German with a very, very bad American accent. Huh?
Yeah.
And when I was watching this movie, it's like perfect German. Perfect high German, by the way.
Yeah.
Not like normal.
It was definitely like very proper German. Yes.
I was very surprised by that, how good. I wasn't even sure if the actress was German, but her German was perfect.
No, she is.
Yeah, she is. Okay, great. No, but what's funny is she says something, then immediately after that, it's repeated. And it's like, I understand everything. And it's like, these
yeah, but I mean, this was obviously made for Americans, though.
It was. The thing is, what actually bugs me is it's made for Americans, but everything is repeated twice. They just say it in German, then in English.
Then in English,
German, then in English. And it's like, and by the way, this old lady can speak English, so why the fuck just have her not speak English with a German accent?
I think it was I think they did this just for like the realism effect of the whole thing to kind of drive home the idea that the story of Krampus is a Germanic thing. So it makes sense. And for Americans, generally, it makes it that much more interesting. Like, you and I hear German on a daily basis, so it's nothing for us. But the fact that you have one character that's only speaking German and you really don't know what she's saying is kind of cool. So for American audiences, I get why they did it. And it probably definitely does have that effect. What did annoy me, though, and I don't know if you caught the scene, there's one scene where her son talks back to her. She's speaking to him in German, and he's trying to calm her down, and he speaks back to her. Now, the actor is an American actor. When he speaks back to her, he speaks to her in very, very accent, dialect-heavy German that is obviously not his voice. Did you catch that? Why did they do that? That was the thing that bugged me. I'm like, if she's speaking this German, and he learned from her because it's her son, why would he not speak the same way she does? Instead, he speaks with this high Bavarian dialect that doesn't make any sense.
But I mean, that did not annoy me because it wasn't a Bavarian accent. Wasn't it an American accent he had?
No, that was Bavarian as hell. Even the dialect he was using was Bavarian.
Okay, I don't remember.
Go back and listen to it. It's like, it's dialectually heavy to the point that some of the words that he uses there are not even words we use in this part of Germany. So it's very heavy dialect, and it was obviously not his voice.
Auf dem Oktoberfest der Weißbier, Weißwurst essen mit süßer Senf, ne?
Yeah. it was extremely heavy dialectual. I was like, why is he speaking like that? And his mom speaks like she's from Frankfurt. You know what I mean? It just bugs me. I don't know why they did that, but I know nobody else noticed that.
Nee,
Only
das Walker
Germans would have noticed
Hessisch.
that.
Nee, das Walker Hessisch.
Das war Hessisch.
No, huh?
It wasn't Hessisch. No. It wasn't Hessisch that she was
That's not how
speaking.
people in Frankfurt talk, Matt. No, she was speaking High German.
Well, the people that don't
Das
have a
Hessisch.
dialect, that's how they talk.
I'm not good at German. I'm not good at making, but another thing. Frankfurt, they Hessisch, das ist Hessen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah.
You know how Germans are with that shit.
I know. It's, yeah.
I'm not even sure if I done that Hessische accent right. Probably not. My German friends are probably going to get on.
It's all like I've been listening to Badazalts. I think that shit is fucking hilarious. And somebody gave me a Badazalts CD like 3 Christmases ago. And I play it every once in a while just to listen to it. But the dialect is probably the funniest of all German dialects.
Yeah, it is.
How they say shit. It's just
That's not Hessisch, no?
Yeah.
Hessisch.
Anyway, top-notch film.
Yes, great.
If you're looking for a horror movie to watch this year that you maybe haven't watched at this Christmas theme, I definitely would suggest this one. I wouldn't say watch this with your kids. I wouldn't say it's a kid movie, but it's not the roughest of horror films. It's definitely one that you could play with your teenagers around, but definitely worth a watch for a Christmas horror film. Yeah, overall, 10 out of 10 for me. I loved it.
Me too. Me too. To me also, 10 out of 10. I wouldn't say 10 out of 10. I would say 9 out of 10. Because I did not like the Krampus mask. For me, I would give it.
You're just taking off points for the Krampus mask, right?
Yes. I did not like the Krampus mask. I'm taking off points for the Krampus mask.
Maybe we'll get a part 2. Maybe we'll get a part 2 that actually explains this away. So if for whatever reason, I don't know why they would do it, but if the writer-director have come across this podcast, please see if you can get a second one made and explain away his face, please, because that bugs the shit out of me too. It looks creepy. It's a cool effect, but I want to know what's under the mask. Yeah. Okay, Mike. So what's our next film? Or are we gonna give it away?
The next movie we're doing is A Christmas Horror Story.
Okay. Now that one is a violent horror film.
That one is super violent. Brilliant movie, by the way.
Yeah.
What I really like about this movie is one of my favorite Christmas horror movies. To me, it's a Christmas equivalent of Trick or Treat.
Yes, it is. I didn't even think about that. You're right. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have like Trick or Treat. I love one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Brilliant movie, and this as well because it's similar to Trick and Treat. You have like in one certain area, all of these things happening all around Christmas time, and all of these stories kind of intertwine a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, not as much as with Trick or Treat. Okay, it's been a while since I've seen the movie, but I'm just going off with how it still is in my head. But still a brilliant movie. And to me, it's definitely like, just like I said, the Christmas equivalent to Trick or Treat, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's also not a recent film, right? Didn't this one come out like over a decade ago?
I think it came out around the same time as Krampus did.
Okay. Yeah, so about a decade ago.
Around the same time. Right. Maybe a few years after or a few years before it. Sometime around that.
Okay. So about 10 years. Yeah, great film though. I remember seeing it. I think I might have actually seen it in the theaters, but I've only seen it once, so this will be my second watch.
And also, Krampus is also in that movie.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he is.
Yes,
he is. A very different version of Krampus, but yes.
Yeah. The version is more accurate to the actual Krampus than this movie. Still both.
I do like the liberties they took in this film, though, with Krampus kind of making it their own thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I liked it. Things don't have to stick close to folklore for me. I know how when we talk about horror films, especially like werewolf movies, there is a certain formula that you need to follow to make it work. But as far as like folklore goes or fairy tales or stuff like that,
but
I'm fine with them changing shit up.
Yes. But we're talking about different things there. I mean, what we're talking about here in the form of Krampus is basically just the design, what he looks like. And that is something, in my opinion, with a lot of things you can deviate in multiple ways. Also, for me, in a werewolf movie, how a werewolf actually looks, you can deviate from that in any kind of a way. I don't really care.
Yeah.
They're just, like the form ever that kind of a little bit bugs me. And this is also a similar thing you have with this movie with Krampus. They do not really change much of the original folklore. They, of course, they change a lot to it, whatever. But the basic thing, the basic idea and basic entity of what Krampus is here in this movie the same as it is in the folklore. What they have changed was just his physical appearance.
Yeah.
That's, to me, a creative choice that I think is totally fine if they decide to go anyway with it,
Yeah.
and this is some things that a lot of people complain about in not only horror movies, TV shows, video games generally. What I never really, to me, is not really that big of a deal. I might like it more or might like it less, but these are never things that I really are enough to complain about.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I
something
feel
that
like people complain about everything, dude. And the ones that are the biggest complainers always seem to be the ones that write online. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Prime example of this, the new Superman movie. Big discussion going on before it came out. Superman with or without trunks. Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, they're talking about. I've seen multiple of these discussions going on. I see David Cornsweat's Superman suit, and yeah, it looks like Superman. I mean, of course, it has like a different slight design with these kind of lines going through everything everywhere. Okay, whatever. I really don't care.
I don't care.
But it's like
I don't
but
give a shit.
There
I
are
think
people actually complaining
Are
about
we?
it.
Yeah, but I mean, Christopher Reeves, dude. Christopher Reeves Superman. That's all that was.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He looks
Yes,
just like that
yes,
one.
I
And
know,
as far
I
as
know.
I'm concerned, that was Superman. Like, it is very hard to imagine anybody else besides Christopher Reeves in the first place being Superman. So you might as well get it as close as you can to what Christopher Reeves did, you know?
Yeah, but that's. I just brought up the Superman because it's one of the most recent things. The same thing is now going on with the new Supergirl movie that has been announced.
Yes, but the
Ridiculous.
preview looks amazing. The preview looks amazing.
I
The
like it.
preview
I think
looks
it looks
amazing.
cool. It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a Supergirl movie. This is how should I say it? It's a lot of things people are complaining about are, I don't know. I think they're very
Irrelevant.
surface level shit that has very little meat. For example, not being accurate to the source material in video games, in adaptations of books or whatever, and specifically when it comes to superhero stuff.
Yeah.
One of the major complaints of all of the typical, a lot of their criticism, one of their major criticisms was that none of the Marvel movies or none of the superhero movies are accurate to the source material. Now they made one of the most comic accurate Superman movies ever. You can like it or dislike it, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And still they're complaining. They have literally step by step, the Supergirl movie is based on the comic line Woman of Tomorrow. The entire aesthetic, the entire costumes is based 100% on it. Even the co-writer of the Supergirl movie, by the way, is the same guy who created the exact comic series this movie is based on.
Yeah. Great.
And somehow they're
I'm
still
fine with
complaining
it.
about it.
I mean, there's other examples. There's other examples of how that
Yeah.
kind of thing does well or goes south. The thing is, Mike, I don't know. It's like whatever you read online because they did the same thing with the Punisher, right? So the first Punisher film, the Thomas Jane version, was not violent enough. Even I said that. Not violent enough.
Or-
Huh?
Are you talking from the one from the 80s with Dolph Lundgren?
No. That was Dolph Lundgren's version. So I'm talking about the version that came out. I think it was early 2000s. It was
Yes, with
Thomas
John
Jane's
Travolta.
version,
Yeah.
right? So that version was a good movie. I liked it. Wasn't violent enough for the Punisher, right? So the next film that they brought out was Punisher Warzone, and that was literally comic pain per pain per pain, exactly like the comic book. They did not change anything. They didn't even change the dialogue. They did the comic book page for page for page. People fucking hated it. but it was the most violent Punisher film we've had so far. People hated it. So people are just going to dislike shit, dude. People just get online to be angry and write angry shit about stuff they don't like. I thought it was great. And I'm a diehard Punisher fan. And the Superman film, same thing. I'm not a purist. I like Christopher Reeve's version. That was also not comic book accurate. But the Superman film was arguably the best one since the Christopher Reeve ones. It just depends on who you are and who saw it, you know? So whatever. I've ceased to care what people online think. There's a lot of people who hated the Krampus film we just did. And they were saying the same things. Because I always try to read the reviews because I think I'm going to get something funny from it. I read the reviews of what people say, and people about this Krampus movie were like, well, that's not what Krampus does. That's not what he does. That's not really accurate to like lore. I'm like, are you an American complaining about what's correct with German lore? Like, are you? How do you know?
This is like lore. When it comes to lore, there is no Krampus franchise where you can say like, oh, this is fucking fairy tale folklore shit. You can take it and make up your own fucking thing. Nobody cares. There is no franchise established lore that you can compare this to. You can only compare it to a real world historical folklore.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, pretty much every single fucking horror fantasy movie is based off of that. Lord of the Rings is based off of Norse mythology. Mm-hmm. And you don't go in and say like, yo, Lord of the Rings, it's not accurate to the actual elves in Norse. No shit, dumbass. And that's kind of the thing going on here. It's like, to me, people that make that kind of criticism, it's dumb. It's dumb because this is fictional fantasy shit. It's not supposed to be accurate to the literal own folklore. That's what's happened through pop culture, fantasy, horror, sci-fi, or whatever. They take something from some kind of a folklore story or whatever and revamp it into a pop cultural story or whatever. Yeah. They change things. Yeah. I mean, it's different if you have like long-lasting franchises that have done world building, that have an established world building franchise lore. That's here not the case.
No.
Here it's entirely great.
But my point is, people are just going to complain about everything anyway. So it's just do whatever the fuck you want. Filmmakers, please just do something and make sure it's done well. If it has lore attached to it and years of like cinema, please try to stick to that because people love the stories, like incorporate the world building and all that stuff. But for stuff like this, dude, I have no problem with them changing anything. He could have been running around in a Santa Claus outfit. As long as he was creepy, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, me too as well. I mean, even though it does not necessarily destroy the entire Krampus thing. Krampus is evil Santa Claus. Yeah. That's what he was literally always meant to be.
Yeah.
And so portraying him just as a evil twin of Santa, it fits the character. To me, I like it more when it's Krampus in these type of stories. But even if not, it's like, one thing that would bother me, for example, if now they make a sequel and they ignore everything that happens in this movie, that's fucking stupid. And that is shit I do not like.
Yeah.
I mean, on that. For example, Alien, Earth. If this was an entirely new show on its own, it would still suck, but I would be like, fine, okay. It would still suck, but okay, fine, whatever. But it's simply being in the Alien franchise, considering the fact this has a long established world building, timeline, canon, lore.
You should not be shitting all over, yeah.
At this point, this is also the thing that I say, people just make your own fucking story. Make something new.
Please. Yeah.
That's how I kind of see it,
Quit shitting on old franchises just to make money. Yeah, I'm with you on that. This could be a super long discussion if we keep going.
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah, okay. Anyway, dude, fucking great movie. Catch us next week for what was the name of the movie again? Christmas Horror Story, right? Yeah. Christmas Horror Story. Okay, cool. And until then, I'm Matt.
Yeah. I'm Mike.
We'll see you guys next time.
See you guys next time. Bye.
The blackest eyes. Get away. the desert side. Stay in simply